think as well, something that FCV taught me or that planted in me and is still really growing is that realization. I think when I first came to Suchi, I very much thought of justice as something kind of out there, like a system that we correct or make more just, or a government that we kind of fix. And something beautiful about the experiences, and something that's really reflected in your answer too, is that these seeds and fruits are just much more relational than I think we tend to imagine, and much more abundant, and just much more, I don't know, much deeper and more complex and than I think we imagine, or than we're initially taught when we first start learning about justice. And that's even reflected in when I was doing this interview with Sister Shell. She asked about transformative experiences that I had had when I was in El Salvador. And one that always comes to mind when I speak with people about my time is just hearing the story you told about when we were sitting. I think there were evenings I really enjoyed when we would finish work at the center and just kind of be sitting outside in the cafe, and the sun would be setting a little bit and we'd just be talking about the day. And one of those times you shared a story of when you decided to stay in El Salvador and you were hiding in the long grasses with a community of people, and there was a woman who was nursing, and you wanted her to keep the tortillas that she had been smart enough to grab when you were running to hide. And you wanted her to keep those. And she said, tonight we share our food, tomorrow we share our hunger. And just how transformative hearing that story has been for me in my life. It's just extraordinary, because if I were writing down experiences that I think would be transformative going to El Salvador, I likely wouldn't think like a conversation or a story could be a seed or a fruit. But those things really are those little interactions and relationships we have. And I just love that perspective that you shared to really emphasize that fact. Or I've been thinking a lot about, maybe that's one of the reasons that the journey for justice feels the way it does. Like, we tend to think about it in cycles or in these movements that really are building on each other throughout time. And it can, in some ways, be quite just frustrating or tragic to think about how still far away from a truly just world we are in many ways. But I do feel a sense of wonder when I sit with just how much we collectively really have changed and transformed, and what a remarkable story that is of all those different just actions and lives of people building on each other to create this particular unique historical moment. And
felt that the religious community of women are really on the cutting edge of the Catholic Church. And so for a program like that, starting in the 70s, I think it was, one, it pushed the community to move beyond being teachers in Iowa to other parts of the country, to other types of ministry. I think it was very unique that you included lay women in that type of work in a volunteer program, which allowed us to experience volunteering, community, prayer. So I really felt that it really shaped in different ways both the sisters as well as the lay women that participated in the program. And I think too, it was able, in a sense, kind of some cross-pollination. Like I would go to Pine Ridge and then I'd come back and I'd be, at Briarcliff University in Sioux City, and some of those experiences I would take with me. So I really think that we were, pushed to grow. And I wonder if, and I think about Franciscanism in the broader sense, not just the sisters, but the associates, anybody that was touched by the program, it really caused us to reflect on things like standing with those who are poor or the peacemaking piece. And I think it was a way to really live the Franciscan values that we were trying to live, but then you're really pushed to do that in that type of situation. I still think that there is a role for service and volunteering. I feel that people are looking for a connecting point. And I think especially post-COVID, we've all been locked down for so long, and that ability to get out and to interact. I also think some of our societal needs in the United States are more obvious, whether it's food security, access to healthcare. Um, we're really seeing where the vulnerable people live in our society. And so maybe, post COVID, whatever that world looks like, and hopefully we'll be able to move around a little bit, there may be a greater interest in that type of service and outreach in our society. And I do hope that Common Venture continues in some way, whether it's a weekend program or, I don't know. I don't know how, we respond, because our society's gotten so busy, but I'm wondering if the pandemic has forced people to stop and really take stock of what's important. And maybe, hopefully, engagement and volunteering will be something that rises to the top.
I hope it evolves. I hope it's still alive. Keep emerging, new contexts, new needs, new ways of doing what we've done well for many, many years, for 50 already. The contexts are connected, there's no doubt about it, but they change more quickly. And you are a generation that has learned how to manage quick changes. So I just hope that we help you prepare for the world becoming smaller as it realizing its globalness. That's not a contradiction. I think it's with that spirit that Common Venture really has to connect it to the larger picture of what we call God, of what we call Trinity love, or what we call energy abounding, and love and connections, relationship. We praise God by building right relationships, the relationship with myself, the relationship with others. And that's the heart of the Common Vision. That's what will continue. How it will continue is not in our hands totally, but it will continue. It will continue. Yeah. Even if there are fewer and fewer Franciscan sisters, it'll find a way to continue, because it's bigger than institutions. It's bigger than, it's legacy. Legacy, that's what it is. The legacy will continue.